Blacktastic forever. Hello, and welcome to another episode of My Point of View Movie Reviews. Today, my review is on the Netflix original documentary, Biggie and Tupac, two of the world's most famous rappers of all time, and so much controversy is behind their names. East Coast versus West Coast. So-and-so had this person killed. So-and-so had this person murdered. So-and-so messed with this guy's wife. We're going to put all of that to bed today. The truth behind Biggie and Tupac. It all begins with millennials nowadays grew up when hip-hop was already established. So a lot of these kids that are growing up today, they're in their early to mid-20s. Gangster rap was already established. So they see that on TV and they welcome that into their life like it's real. And it's not. I hear the expression all the time, being hard. You're not hard by being hard. It's not an act. Either you are or you're not. It's a persona that a lot of these young people have nowadays. Sagging now has turned into a fashion statement. What it meant in prison back in the day, you was somebody's girlfriend. Being gang affiliated is not the same thing as being a true gang member. Because you know people who are in gangs don't make you a gang member and don't think that it gets you street credit. Because it really doesn't. And the third thing, this generation grew up on black entertainment TV and stuff they see on TV. They watch Scarface, they watch The Untouchables, they watch Casino, and they adapt that into their everyday thinking, and it's not even real. There are movies, there are scripts, probably written by some white guy, get all these black personalities who want to own this persona and make it real when it's not even real. Let's go back in time. Tupac was raised by his mother and stepfather. His real father was in his life, but the reason why him and his mom split up, because his mother got hooked on crack. She cleaned herself up, and the man she ended up meeting and marrying later was a Black Panther, so hence she became a Black Panther. Tupac went to the School of Arts. He was a gifted young man, and it shows in his past he was a great actor. He acted like the people he wanted to be. He took on their persona. His favorite person to imitate was Al Pacino's Scarface. That tells you a lot about Tupac, later who he came to be. Biggie, he grew up with his mother. In his rap songs, he's talking about, I grew up in a one-bedroom shack. We had no food to eat. They interviewed his mother. Those were lies. Those were tall tales to give him this persona that he grew up extra poor. He didn't. It's all portrayed in the music. The way Tupac was, he was acting it out. So you guys think this gangster rap stuff is real? From the people who helped invented it, it wasn't even real to them. Like Ice Cube said, I document what I seen. Ice Cube grew up in LA, in Compton, rough area, but he had his mom, he had his dad, they both worked, and he got bused to an all-white school. And his persona, he was hard. He was with the most notorious rap group of all time, but he was smart. Tupac was smart. Biggie was smart. They took the streets and put it on paper. Later on, some of them try to live it, and you see where it got them. Dead. You know, the whole East Coast versus West Coast. Do you know how it even started? People on the West Coast, just assume that the West Coast is better than the East Coast. People on the East Coast just assume the East Coast is better than the West Coast. Come to find out, East Coast rap invented the whole thing of hip hop. The West Coast stole it and adapted it. Let's get that straight first of all. And I'm from the West Coast, so I'm keeping it real. And then the beef started when Suge Knight Buddy got shot and killed in Atlanta. And he blames P. Diddy, which was Biggie's producer. So you got producers making them stories about each other. Then they feed that stuff into their artists and they put it on wax. And that's how you get gangster rap. And then Tupac was notorious for owing his manager and producer money. And when you mess with a real gangster and you owe a real gangster money, either you pay or you die. That's just the way it is. So some of you guys think that, oh, Tupac was hard. No, he's dead when he didn't have to be. See, money makes you feel like you're invincible. And you take on that persona plus money, add that all together, it's going to end badly for you. Money ain't going to save you from no bullets in the end. And the Source Awards back in the 90s, you had Suge Knight coming onto the stage, accepting an award, talking about, yo, if you're tired of your producers dancing in the videos, come join Death Row. Minutes later, Biggie gets up there. Hey, East Side forever. You know, I'm never leaving. Then minutes later, you got P. Diddy going up there talking good about the West Coast, trying to keep everything on an even level. Then later on, you got Snoop Dogg coming to the stage, talking mess about the East Coast, saying, what, y'all don't love us? Y'all don't love the West Coast? That's how the whole thing got started, on stage like a play in front of the whole Source Awards crowd. So, you millennials that believe this stuff, check your history. In the meantime, this was an in-depth documentary about both rappers. They interviewed their mothers, their fathers. You will learn the truth and the nature of these young men. Tupac never killed nobody a day in his life. Neither did Biggie. Their mamas are there to vouch for it, and their fathers. Watch it and learn and strip down this whole thing about being hard, because it's an act with some of the people that you admire. Keep that in mind. Check it out. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about Biggie and Tupac, the documentary story on Netflix. And that's my point of view.